We came out to Texas today at the drilling fields out here, so what we need to do is really get back to the fundamentals. Look at the numbers in North Atlanta and go so deep into the local information because we have all heard some tremendously bad news from across the country. But what does all that mean for right here in North Atlanta? Well, I tell you, it's been a while since we really looked at the numbers, but we're going to get deep within it. We're going to take a good hard look at North Atlanta and tell you the realities and the truth of what we have going on right here in North Atlanta. People are always asking me what's going on in the real estate market, and in North Atlanta there's some good things happening but also some painful things happening. It is a great time to buy right now. There's some phenomenal opportunities, but because it's a great time to buy and demand has kind of like leveled off but is starting to show signs it's heading in the right direction, it can be painful for some that have to sell if you've bought your home in the last 5 years or so. That's the reality of the market today. But what's happening out there, let me share with you some numbers. 2010, for the first 5.5 months, as you can see right here, Forsyth County closed in the first 5.5 months 1,005 homes in that 5.5 month stretch. In that same time period for 2011, Forsyth County has already exceeded that number by just a smidgen, about 1,017 closings. Now the interesting thing on this for Forsyth County is we're starting to see new home builders come in here that aren't even factored in these numbers. So we've actually far exceeded the number of 1,005 sales for 2011. So things are going in the right direction for Forsyth County, but led by price variables. Low prices stimulating demand in Forsyth County. In Gwinnett, we saw 2010, we saw 3,356 sales. The same time tracking period for 2011, we have had 3,748. So Gwinnett has had a nice little increase from 2010 to 2011, and we're starting to see very specific school districts in Gwinnett County start to have a nice increase in demand. Very much school-centric in Gwinnett County, so much more than any other area. In North Fulton, we had 1,274 sales in 2010. Same time period, it's the only area that we saw just a slight little decrease, 1,184 for 2011 for North Fulton. But what I want you to pay attention to is what we're going to talk about in part 2 of this, which is new home construction. Because in North Fulton and Forsyth County, a lot of builders have started to go in and focus on those areas and build homes and neighborhoods that you just can't pass up. And it's putting a little downward pressure on some of the resale communities that had not seen those new home builders up until the last year or so. So we're starting to see some different shifts and variables. Now the one thing I'll tell you, we will not know exactly what's going to happen until we can get lending figured out. Delinquencies, short sales, bank-controlled sales, they're all starting to pepper around North Atlanta, and it's hitting some communities that we have not seen that be factored in yet. We don't know how long this headache and hangover is going to be from the foreclosures and people in the financial situation due to the economy. But the good thing is, for North Atlanta, we are starting to see balance in the demand. That's on the closings. If I were to talk about contracts written for the year, the contracts written for the year for all 3 areas has greatly exceeded what 2010 offered. So demand is definitely on the rise. Lending is basically stalemating some of the effort that we could be seeing, but things are starting to get in balance across North Atlanta right now. So the great thing is for 2011, we're starting to see demand on the rise. We're seeing more closings in most of the areas. Contracts are going through the roof. But here's the thing, the 3 variables that will control North Atlanta for the next year, and when we start to dig out, lending and getting that back to a normal lending environment, new homes entering into the market that we haven't seen before, and lastly, short sales and foreclosures and how that's going to have a hangover effect on our area. That's what we're going to talk about in section 2. Right now, we're signing off. Talk to Terry, sincerely with passion. See you next time.